Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Addie. Today I'm going to be doing my March TBR and my February wrap up. I'm gonna do the TBR first because it's the fun part. I have a little mason jar of TBR prompts and I'm going to pick my books based off of those. I think what I'm gonna do is I have my book club book, so obviously I'm gonna read that one, and then I'm gonna add 7 on, so I'm gonna do 7 prompts plus the book club book. And the way I do my TBR, I like to have like the series in front of me, so like if I'm in the middle of a series, like that doesn't really go on the TBR because like it's automatically assumed that it's on the TBR because I started the series, so like obviously it needs to be read. So what I do is I'll move and show you guys. Like this side of the TBR card, like this whole top row is for like the month's TBR. This side has series that I'm in the middle of, so I can like, if I'm not feeling any of the books that are my TBR, I just go back and like read a series that I'm already in the middle of. Right now the only book on it is Redeeming Six, and it's been on it forever. When I get Way of Kings, it's gonna go on that side too. So, but then this side is the TBR for the month. So let's just get into it. I have 7, hopefully I don't lose track. So I'm just gonna shake it up and see what I get. Ooh! Book I bought because of a booktuber recommended it. I have so many of these because like Sarah Crowley and Destiny Sidwell like control my wallet, but I have so many. I'm gonna go look. Alright, I have like 3 that I'm in the middle of that I'm like kind of debating. The first is Renegades that Sarah Crowley recommended. The next I have Encyclopedia of Fairies because Katie is reading, loves this book. I really want to read this book. And then I have One Dark Window, which is also Sarah Crowley. I don't know, guys. I don't know which one I want to read. There's so many good options. Oh my god. These videos are so hard because I can't make decisions. I'm gonna read the backs and see what I'm feeling. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with One Dark Window because I feel like everyone's been talking about it and I'm like really curious about it. So I think this is, I don't really know what this is about. It has like, I did notice when I bought it, it has like the little cards on the front of the title chapters, so that's pretty cool. I guess it's about Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. She needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie Mistlock kingdom of blunder. I do like Mist Cities by my love for Mistborn. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets. Ooh, this seems like kind of like a dark gothic fantasy, and I could definitely like love that vibe. So I'm really excited about this one. Off to a great start, guys. I'm just gonna put this right here, and as the stack grows, I hope it doesn't fall. We'll see how it goes. Shake it up. Prop number 2. Book that intimidates you. Great. Okay, sounds good. These prompts always scare me because obviously I'm intimidated, so let's go look. When I looked at my shot, I immediately knew which one I was gonna do. I'm gonna do If We Were Villains by Amal Rio. Okay, I'm intimidated by this book because everyone says if you liked The Secret History, you're probably not gonna like this one, like vice versa, and I liked The Secret History. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I wanna try it. I know it's like a dark academia, which also intimidates me because I do not read a lot of that genre. Like, I'm very much a fantasy thriller romance girl, so like literary fiction and like all the like dark academia vibes is just, I don't really dabble in that genre a lot. But I know it's about like Shakespeare. It has it's a Shakespeare group, I think. It says, enter the players. There are 7 of us then, 7 bright young things with wide, precious futures ahead of us. Until that year, we saw no farther than the books in front of our faces. Oh, he was released from jail, and the man who put him there is waiting at the door. And the detective wants to know the truth, and after 10 years, Oliver is finally ready to tell. Oh yeah, there's 7 young Shakespearean actors at the Classical Conservatory. So they're the most stuck-up people in the entire world, so that'll be fun to read about. It just sounds like they're gonna be pretentious, but I'm excited for it. It's definitely be entertaining. So this is the next book on the TBR. Next prompt number 3. Oh, it fell out. Go with that one. name on the title. Okay, I'm going to go with Song of Achilles. Achilles is a name. It's not a common name, but it's the name of the character. I'm so excited that I picked this because I've had this book on my TBR since probably 2020. Like, it has sat there for years and years and years, and there's so much hype around it, and like, not really anymore, but like at the time this was like the book, like people raved and raved about. And I read Circe and I loved Circe, so I don't know why I'd never picked this up, but I was like so scared of it, to be honest. I don't really know. It really scared the crap out of me. I think it's because like when books get so hyped up, I like I'm like want to read them less, like, which I don't know why, because then I read them and end up like loving them, like, oh, this is why I was hyped. But this is one of those books like I just never picked up, but like I really want to read it, so I really want to get to this because my goal for the year, I really want to like read books that have been on my, like, just sitting on my TBR for like a really long time, and I want to just start like making dents in my physical TBR. I've tried really hard this year not to just like shop to shop. I've talked about this a lot, but it's been really hard. But I already have like plans of like when I'm gonna go book shopping, but like I'm trying not to do like sporadic book shopping. Like I'm gonna go when like I know that there's a reason for me to be going. So anyway, long-winded way of me saying I'm really excited to read a book that's been on my TBR forever. A YA book. I have so many YA books and I love YA, so I think this will be a good one. And you know, I'm gonna go with Renegades for this one because I picked it out for the first prompt and then it was like staring at me from the front and I like couldn't stop thinking about it, and I'm like, I kind of want to add this. So I picked Renegades, which I am super excited about. Like this was also one of them. I haven't had this book forever, but like I've seen it shopping around Barnes forever, and like every time I've gone to Barnes for like the last like 4 years, I like walk past Renegades and I'm like, should I buy it? And then I'm like, no, and I don't really know why, but I did like a couple months ago end up picking it up, so I'm really excited about this. This is like sci-fi and I don't read any of that genre, but that is one of my goals, to get more into like sci-fi and fantasy this year. And like I've done the fantasy part, but I need to kind of get into the sci-fi, so I'm super excited about this. I think it's about, and I also love Marissa Meyer. Like I was obsessed with like the Cinder books in elementary school, and then I read Heartless and in high school and I loved it. This one is about secret identities, extraordinary powers. She wants vengeance, he wants justice. Oh, it's like the renegades are like prodigies. They're like humans with extraordinary abilities. That's really cool. And it's like they emerged from the ruins of a crumbled society and established peace and order where chaos reigned. Oh, and then Nova hates the renegades and she's on a mission for vengeance. That sounds really good. So I'm very excited. And I also like, I don't know, something about this cover, like I love it. So I'm really excited about this. Next one, for the next prompt, I really want to pick a romance book because I've been in a romance mood and I have no romances on there. I guess Song of Achilles is, but I know it's going to be sad. So not really the vibe I'm going for. Hopefully I can get a romance. No way. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. It's a romance book. How lucky am I right now? Oh my god. Okay, well, perfect. I'm going to pick Hopeless by Alice Silver. This was a no-brainer for me. I think I said it. I don't know if I said it in this video, like in the beginning, where I really wanted to read Nelsie Silver book. But I've been talking all week. I really want to read Nelsie Silver book. So I'm going to read Hopeless. And I've had this forever on my TBR. Well, ever since it came out. And I haven't read it because honestly, it kind of it not like scares me, but like I know I'm going to be really sad when it's over, because the Chestnut Spring series, I hold it so near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite romance series of all time, and this is the last one. And I also really want to read it before her new book Wild Love comes out in April, so I kind of gotta get this going in March. But I'm so excited about this. This is definitely what I'm gonna read next. This is Beau's story. I think it's like a marriage at convenience trope, or a fake marriage trope, or like, I know it's fake something, but I'm very excited about it. And I love Beau, and I'm so excited. Like, if you're the series, like, you know, he like kind of goes through it in the last books, but like now like we finally get to like see his perspective of the things that he's gone through, and I'm so excited. And oh my god, I'm be so sad when it's over. I'm so excited about this one. Okay, I have 5 right now, so I have 2 more to go. I want to keep going. I wish I could make like I wish I could just like sit around and read all day so I can make this longer. Next prompt. Title that begins with an F. That's very specific. So yeah, I'll see which, I don't know how many options I have there, but we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna go with Final Girls by Riley Sager because I don't have a thriller on here and I've been in such a thriller mood, so I feel like this will definitely ease the craving for that because I love Riley Sager. I have raged about Riley Sager so much. I've only read 2 of his books, but the only one left is like one of my all-time favorite thrillers of all time, like a 6-star read. Love that book so much. Like I think about it all the time, and I also loved House Across the Lake. I just love the way he writes thrillers, and so I have so many of his books and I'm so excited to read this one. I needed a thriller. I love when my TBR has variety. Like look at it, like it has pretty much every single book, like kind of book you'd hope for. I can always be switching it up. My mood changes very quickly and very drastically. So I guess this one is about 10 years ago. A college student, Quincy Carpenter, went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone. She became a member of a club no one wants to belong to, a group of similar massacre survivors known in the press as the Final Girls. Oh, and then it's a bunch of people who like were the only ones left, kind of. Oh, and then I guess one of them is found dead. Then they have to like kind of look back into like what happened during their time there. I don't know, but it sounds super interesting, so I'm very excited about this. This is gonna start falling. Only one more book. I need to stay for one more book. 7th prompt. New author. Oh, that's exciting. I don't know. I have so many new authors, and I know exactly which one I'm gonna do for this. Actually, a lot of these books are new authors, but I think what I'm gonna go with is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. That first prompt that I got stuck with me. Like I think I ended up going with all 3 of them, all my 3 options from the first prompt. But I don't know, again, this was just sitting in front of me and I really want to read it, and I've never read Heather Fawcett, so I'm really excited. This is a cozy fantasy, which I love this genre. It's so calming. I'll definitely read this when I'm like need a de-stress moment, maybe during midterms time. But I'm really excited about this. I also love like Have a Soul, like, so if it's anything kind of like that, I'll really like it. I think it's basically about like this Cambridge professor who just like, she researches fairies, and I love that. And also look at this cover, it's so pretty. And the second one just came out too, so I'm really excited for that. Well, I don't know if I'm excited for that because I've never read this one, but the cover was very pretty, so if I like it, I'm excited to buy it and have it on my shelves. But anyway, and this is the exclusive edition too. I wonder, sometimes when I see the exclusive editions, I'm like, okay, but like what makes it the exclusive edition, you know? Maybe it's like the speckled edges, I don't know. Anyway, off topic. This is my 7th and final book on my TBR. Also, I didn't tell you, I don't think I told you guys, but my book club book of the month is Butchered and Blackbird. I don't have the physical copy yet, but I will. So that is also going to be the 8th book on my TBR. But anyway, to wrap it up, the books that I have on this month's TBR is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, Final Girls by Riley Sager, Hopeless by Elsie Silver, Renegades by Marissa Meyer, Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, If We Were Villains by Emma Rio, and One Dark Window by Rachel Gilligan. I'm really excited for this month's TBR because I feel like I have a lot of variety. Also, like, I haven't been like in a book slump per se, but like I feel like since the beginning of the year, like I haven't had that many books that I'm like crazy about. Like, you know, like it's been like a lot of like 3-star area for me, which is like fine. Like I'm not like reading like bad books recently, like I'm enjoying it, but nothing's been like really wowing me, and I feel like there's a lot of potential in here for the books to wow me. So I'm hoping this month is a better reading month. You'll see my wrap up this month was kind of mediocre, but I did have a few good books, so I'm very excited to talk about with you guys. So that is what I'm going to transition into next. Now we're going to talk about all the books that I read in February. This was kind of a slow month for me. I read 5 books, but in my defense, one of them was 800 pages and one of them was Brandon Sanderson, and it was the shortest month of the year. So I feel like it was still a really good reading month. So let's just talk about it. The first book that I read of the month was a really good one. It started the month off very strong. It is A House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J Maas. This book was so anticipated. I had a countdown on my phone for a year, like to the date that it came out, right after I finished House of Sky and Breath. I literally, like, I went to the midnight release party at my Barnes to get this on a Monday night, and I felt really bad because I made my mom go with me because I was too scared to go by myself. She was a real trooper for that one. I am going to say this with all the love in the world. It did not live up to my expectations. However, I still love this book. Like, it's still a Sarah J Maas book, and like I still had the time of my life reading it. I just had some issues, and that doesn't take away from how much I loved it. Like, I try really hard, especially with like my all-time favorite author, to not just like be like, oh, it was perfect, I loved it, and ignore everything that I didn't like about it just because it's my favorite author. So that's what I'm going to talk about, but I want to make it very clear that I loved this book. I rated it 4 stars, and I sat on it for a while. Like, I sat on that rating. I decided this a couple days ago that I'm gonna rate it 4 stars. It took me like a week to read. I read House of Sky and Breath in a couple of days, and this one kind of just dragged at some points. I felt like the one thing that everyone was really excited for didn't like live up to its full potential, maybe. And like Bryce in this book literally just pissed me off. Like, I don't know who this character is, but it was not Bryce from the first and second book. And then also, who was this man? Who was Hunt? That was not the Hunt we've seen in the other books too. Like, he annoyed me a little bit less than Bryce did, but like there was like one thing he said, and like, you may know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to spoil it, where I was just like, Rowan and Reese literally would never. So no matter how mad they were, I don't know, like, it just wasn't giving what I needed it to give in that respect. But I just got annoyed, but I was like, what the hell is going on? But anyway, to the things that I did love about the book, I have a new favorite character. Lydia is one of my new favorite Sarah J Maas characters, like, of all time. In my head, this is her book. I loved it. I loved her so much. There were some really, really cool battles. I just had such a fun time reading this, even though it took me a while. Like, I wasn't really bored at any points. Overall, really love it. I just wanted to express a few of my little issues with it. But overall, a very strong Sarah J Maas book. And then it kind of went really far south from there, because then I read Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, and read is kind of a strong word because I DNF'd it, but I got around halfway, so I kind of read it. I DNF'd it because I was just bored. There's nothing wrong with the book. Literally, like, there wasn't really anything that like really pissed me off. Like, I didn't have any issues with like the plot or the magic system or anything like that. I was just bored, and I was like, why am I reading this? This is going to be at best a 2-star read, so why am I pushing so hard to finish it? That's kind of what I'm trying to do too. I'm trying to like be less concerned if I like finishing the book if I know it's going to be no more than 2 stars. Like, I'll push for a 3-star, but not for a 2-star. Because I have so many books to read. Like, why read books like you're feeling mediocre about? I think also this book, I've had it, I really wanted to get to it because I've had it on my shelf for years and years and years. And I'm trying to kind of work through my TBR that's been on there forever. So this was kind of one of them. It didn't go so great, but I am happy that I gave it a chance. And then it was great again. This month was a roller coaster, because then I read Magnolia Park's Into the Dark, which was the perfect choice after that, because this was an unexpected 5-star read. When I went into this month knowing I was reading Into the Dark and House of Flame and Shadow, I thought for sure House of Flame and Shadow was going to be 5 stars. That was my no-brainer favorite book of the month, but this surprised me. And it's not because I don't like the Magnolia Park's like Daisy hates thing, it's just because I don't like love the Magnolia Parks part. I'm like the Daisy hates more, but this really shocked me, and it kind of made me a fan of Magnolia and BJ. I think this is Jessa Hastings' best book by far. Like, it's not even a question. This is her best book. It showed so much growth in the characters, and it was so much more than like a romance or like drama or like entertainment. Like, it was basically a character study, which I love books like that. like when I'm reading a book, like the characters make or break it for me. I can kind of get on board with any plot, but like the characters I'm very picky about. So I love like character studies, and that's essentially what this is. Like not a lot happens. Like I wouldn't say like there aren't like a lot of events, like there really isn't even a plot, but the characters' growth and development from the first books, like you can see how much they've changed, things like healing and grieving, and it's so beautiful. I like sobbed multiple times in the books, and it's kind of hard to make me cry with books. Like I tear up a lot, like I'll feel like the pricks in my eyes, but like full on like tears is kind of hard to come by, and this did it for me. I thought it was literally the perfect end to Magnolia and BJ's story. They've been through so much, and it was just so nice to see like all come together, and it was really beautiful. And I definitely recommend this. 5 stars. I love this book so much. The next book I read was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I love Ali Hazelwood. I've talked about her a lot. And I thought it was really cool how she stepped out and tried to do like a paranormal romance. And I really liked that because like I feel like everyone has been very critical of Ali Hazelwood for doing the same thing over and over again with like the STEM romances, which, by the way, literally every author pretty much does this. Like, I don't know why. Like, I guess she does it maybe a little bit more, but like, I feel like a lot of authors kind of have their formula, which is fine because it's like, if it's written by the same person, you expect the styles and the way they write to be the same. So I don't really have much of a problem with it as everyone else does. But I liked how she like heard that and she was like, well, let me do something different. Let me show you what I can do. So I definitely applaud her for that. I liked Bride. However, I don't know if it was executed perfectly in my opinion. I did enjoy it. This was a fun read. Like there was never a moment where I was like, oh, I don't want to be reading this anymore. Like, which is what I'm looking for in any kind of romance. And I don't go into like paranormal romances expecting like a literary masterpiece. Like, let's be real, it's between a vampire and a werewolf. However, there were some parts after reflecting on it that I had a few like issues with. Like I just felt weird, you know, like it just made me feel kind of off. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you read the book, like you definitely know what I'm talking about. I don't know, and I don't think it had to be weird, you know, like it was just like it could have been cut out. Also, if you want my thoughts on like from Magnolia Parks on, I do have reading vlogs, so I definitely go more in depth on my feelings in those. These are more just like an overview. However, I did rate this 3 stars. And I rated it 3 stars because I love the main character. I thought Misery was such a fun character. Like he was super sassy and like she made me like laugh out loud. And she was kind of the only character in the book that did it, but she was the main character, so I didn't really care. But I did really enjoy that. So overall, I think this was a solid read, and it kind of seemed like there might be another book. I'm definitely going to continue it if there is, because I did have a lot of fun. Yeah, not my favorite Ali Hazelwood. And then the last book I read of the month was Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I really liked it. I am pushing through the Cosmere, guys. I think this is the 5th book, including like short stories and novellas, that I've read in the Cosmere out of 25. So I still have a long way to go, but I am pushing through. I am getting through the Cosmere slowly but surely. I read Mistborn in January and I loved that, and then so I was very excited about this, and this is kind of like a standalone. I don't know if it's considered a secret project, but I know it's kind of like obscure. It's kind of one of his like little obscure side projects, or like one of his first ones, but either way it's not one of his main things, and it's a standalone fantasy. I really enjoyed it. Again, I talked way more about it in my reading vlog. The thing about Brandon Sanderson is that I'm starting to notice is that it's going to drag at some points. At least me personally, I felt kind of frustrated. I was like, okay, like can something please happen? But I actually finished this last night, and the last like 100 pages I was on the edge of my seat. Like everything, the way he writes his worlds, like he does everything for a reason. So even though it's dragging, like it's for a reason, and it all always just comes together so perfectly, like where everything just clicks for you and you're like, oh my god, that's why this happened and that's why this happened. It's super cool, honestly, and the way he writes his worlds is honestly just genius. Like this was very different than Mistborn, Like it was about this like eternal city that like full of gods that just like randomly fell, and now it's like filled with people that have gone through like this transformation that turns them into kind of like these just like half dead walking corpses, and no one really knows why. That was a really cool like premise. Like he's like a genius, like the way he makes his worlds. I'm like, how do you come up with this? And they're so well thought out and so well like executed that even though it was kind of bored at some points, I understand their reason for it. Also, one thing I do like about his writing too is he isn't afraid to do the unexpected. I feel like with a lot of books that I read, it's kind of like a formula, like where I'm like, okay, I'm reading the same thing, like I love it, like I love what I read, so obviously the formula is a good one, but sometimes it's fun to be surprised, and he doesn't follow that formula. Like literally anything could happen. Like he is not afraid to kill off people, he's not afraid to like completely steer the story in a different direction that like you did not think it was going. Like I just love that. Like it keeps me so entertained, and it's just something different and it's refreshing. So rated this book 4 stars. It wasn't completely 5 because, as I said, like I understand why it dragged a little, but I was still kind of bored, so it definitely docked a point for that. But overall, I'm super excited to continue with the Cosmere. So those are all the books that I read in February and my February TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any other ideas on how you guys want me to pick my TBR or things like that, that would be super cool too, because I'm always looking to switch it up a little bit. Let me know what you guys read this month and what's on your March TBR. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more videos like this, or if you guys want to see my reading vlogs of me reading these books like in real time, please subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!